Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. I want to talk about common sense, but I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, that means it's something very, very, very important. And these videos are not important to liberals, libertarians, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Listeners' discretion is advised. Going down a rabbit hole, not up your asshole. Right? No diddy. Okay. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or even roast special, you put that shit down below, okay? Or you can skedaddle like a hoe, okay? Right? I try to get motherfuckers off my page, man. I don't got no time for effeminates, beta males, trolls, simp panderers. But other than that, please, guys, don't watch my videos. Get the hell out of here, please. Now, this video, I've got to make 2 videos. I have to basically talk about the CPS, DPS, child trafficking thing. I have to do that. And fathers don't matter. So I don't know how to title this video. Every video I have something important to say. So now what happened to me is that even though my civil rights was violated, okay, this is how CPS works now. I'm just giving you a warning. Warning, danger to all good fathers. I don't know how to title this video. But to be short and sweet about it, I'll just say, warning, must listen to this message, good fathers, fathers who are disciplined, fathers who know what they're doing, fathers who know what they're talking about, fathers who are educated and knows how to articulate themselves very clear, like myself, okay, right? You must learn to listen, guys. If you are in your emotion, you should not be watching my videos. I repeat, my videos are not for all those who cannot pay attention. I talk very quickly. And sometimes it may sound like I'm saying 2 things, but it's really 1, okay? Because I talk very quickly sometimes. Sometimes I record myself and say, did I say that? And it said I sound like it, but I didn't say that. And then I realized that I have a double tongue. I have a sharp-edged sword for my tongue, okay, right? And I know how to use it. Alright? So let's get on with the videotape. 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Warning. So I don't know how to title this video, okay? But you guys have to pack up and just leave. All you mature men have to take it. I told you about the Passport Bros that I started and Kevin Samuels and everything. You guys got to take it overseas, because if you're a father, single father, and someone makes a false allegation, including the CPS, this is how it's going to come down to. It doesn't matter if you do not have a powerful attorney and you do not have good family, because most family are not compatible with those of the small and few who have the most logic in the family. I'm like one of the black sheep or white sheep of the family. That's just how it is. There's always one person who has more knowledge than the rest of the family members. I'm the oldest of my brothers and sisters, okay? And I know I'm the smartest, okay? When it comes down to the things that I do, okay, right? Anecdotally, okay? I do many things. If you can see my description, you'll understand what I'm saying, okay? So, when you are a single father, okay, and you're raising your kids, you will most likely lose your kids by the single mother, because the courts are biased against the fathers. Unless you have a powerful attorney and you got a lot of money, you can actually win. I believe this is a chance for pro bono lawyers to take up civil rights cases, because this is a very important thing, guys. Your civil rights will most likely be violated by false allegations. We must remove the false allegations from the courts. So if you basically get the basic things that you need from the beginning, not later on. This is a problem with coercion and shit. You wouldn't have to worry about that if everything was put on the table before it started. And everyone was open. And we all talk frankly and literally right in front of one another. It would have been much more efficient. But the courts get paid off of postponements and delays. These things are a waste of tax people's money, right? Okay. So what happened to me is, I'm just going to say it simple, is that my daughters chose to be with their mother because of time and postponement, and of course, and also coercion a bit, because they knew what they were doing when they put me through the ringer to get just documentation. It's not about documentation. It is the ultimate decision of the hearing officer and the judge. which is hugely biased. They do not follow protocol. All right? They are breaking the law, and your civil rights will be violated as a man. I'm just telling you like it is before it gets there. 50 Cent went through it. You can lose half your income because you're messing with the Jezebel spirit. Me, on the other hand, I tend to have the advantage regardless, because I think things through and I get paid for my services and anything I do. So I do fight back. So when I do fight back, then I know I'm the one who's the winner. I don't have to worry about that. I have no hate towards the mother of my daughters. I just know one thing I learned: never to bring them back. The phone is an attack on their brains, okay, because they're fried. When a woman gets bored, it doesn't matter how you are, guys. I repeat, no matter how big your cock is, how much girth it is to it, how you penetrate her in your secret spots, it does not matter. If you have the ultimate iron-proof way of how to raise kids, and because I've been a babysitter for countless eons of time, more than most of you guys, okay, and I've learned one thing, that when I'm in these white people's houses watching their kids, I always try to give advice to the fathers. See, the fathers is supposed to have enough. The father is the one that's supposed to be in the house to put the structure in, the foundation in. Of course, you should know this. But the courts don't see it that way. And the fathers who I used to watch kids with their mothers in the house and all this other stuff, I basically told them, hey, if you are not the man of the house and he's afraid of the woman, it's all going to fall apart in the long run. This house will fall automatically. Your house will fall if you have a woman. This is what they say. They say if the devil coming knocking on your door, it's usually in the face of a woman. And I'm not going to disagree with that, but 90% of that is true. I can't disagree with that 100%. I cannot say all women. I don't have that much anger for them, okay? I just know that that most women are not suitable for relationships. I know that's a fact. I know that's a guaranteed ironclad fact today. But whenever you have a person who have not been raised through the disciplinary ways of life, they're going to make bad decisions. So let them make the bad decisions. And I give advice to you guys because of CPS and child trafficking as well. This is all connected, because your kids will get taken and you will be in one place and your kid will be here. And I even encountered guys, even at my job, okay, they be like, they got their kids taken and they're a male, they're a man. And if you're black, it's a little bit more disadvantage. You understand? The courts do not respect the fathers. So the people who put them in power is the enemy within America. Did you know that? The enemy within America actually is benefiting all of us, as you are ignorant of how the courts work. So when you are ignorant, you know not to make those mistakes again. All right? So my ultimate advice is do not bring them back. Have children overseas. Make your property overseas. Take it overseas, because there's too much power giving to the weaker vessel, which is the, obvious, okay, who is more emotional, which is obvious. So this video is about, if you're a logical person or a tactician or a disciplinary or a teacher or a counselor, okay, or any type of male logician, okay, you best stay clear of westernized countries. But I'm planning on going to Nigeria, okay, pretty much next year in January. And so since I lost my kids, I can easily get partial custody. I didn't lose parental rights. CPS have helped me a little bit, yep. But they made the error of violating my rights, and I didn't know how easy it was. So I was kind of ignorant on that. There's a lot of you guys who don't know a lot of stuff unless you go through it yourself, right? I didn't have a powerful enough attorney. I might go over 10 minutes with this, but then I realized like everything's about money, okay, right? So I've already put my message out there. Any pro bono attorneys who wanted to fight my case, I already did that already. But I lost my daughters because of my civil rights was violated. And basically they knew that even though they had nothing on the mother, and the mother she doesn't even have her own place. How about that? They had talked to my daughters, and they was not supposed to talk to my daughters because time has elapsed. And they took advantage of my daughter's mental psychosis to say, oh, you probably won't never see your father again. You might as well go with your mother. So that's what happened, guys. Okay? Though I did have visitation rights, I just felt it was like a waste of my time. It's like when I go to court and I didn't miss a date and I followed all their rules and regulations. This is what happens to a lot of good fathers. And I'm going to tell you right now, all that is a waste. The best way to handle it is try to attack the false allegation and go from there. Do not do any paperwork. This is my advice. I don't need to be an attorney. It's just advice. I don't need to be an attorney to tell you the best advice in the world. If you ever got a false allegation, fight the false allegation. Everything should stem around that false allegation. Nothing else. I don't need to be an attorney for that because I was given a choice. And the choice was for documentation, but still, it wasn't about documentation. It was about manipulation. And I did not know this. The courts can be very destructive and very deceiving. I'm just telling you what I went through. All right? So what happens is that I lost my daughters simply because they want to get paid. All right? And they wasn't really concerned. They was concerned about me being a black man, me being stable, because obviously they got the documentation to show, okay, that I'm stable. It doesn't matter if you're stable or not, peoples. I just told you this. I even got a certificate of parenting. It was like a waste of time. Why am I doing all this? Why are you going through that paperwork? It's a waste of time. Try your best not to go through any plans. And your attorney, if your attorney ever mentions you should go through the plan, don't do it. Don't fall for the trap like I have. Because they're not supposed to, number one, focus on your past. Unless you have Megan's Law or some shit. Some crazy ass shit, okay? A lot of guys, y'all guys got to be careful of one thing. Stop calling people pedophiles when you don't know all the details. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, stop doing that. You don't know what happened. Okay? Even with the courts, you don't know all of the details. You got to be very careful, guys, not to judge. Same thing with people who judge Trump and they don't know what his plans is because you don't know them personally. Like I said before, the courts is biased against mainly males. And if you're black, it's even more, especially if you're educated, but you're ignorant, but you don't know what to do. You literally need mucho money just to have more powerful attorneys. And I'm just trying to tell you like it is. I don't know how to title this video. I just told you what happened. I lost custody because I could file for it. I did not lose my rights. See, your rights is very hard to lose. So you technically really don't have to worry about your rights if you're showing up for court. You really don't have to worry about your rights. Because that's a whole lot of shit they got to do to make sure it's prominent and strong evidence to lose your rights. You're not going to lose your rights. The problem is that you will lose custody. Custody and your rights are two different things, right? I don't need to be a lawyer to tell you this advice, okay? I don't need to be a lawyer. I'm just telling you what happened to me, and every case is different. And it actually could be much more negative against the man in the court of law. So I'm just trying to tell you like it is. If you're young watching this, listen carefully. This is for mainly the guys because it doesn't happen to women. It's like the courts cater to women. And I did not think it was true. I thought they go by evidence. No, not for the man's sake. They do not do this. The whole purpose of the courts is to have a balance. But they don't do that either because they just gave full custody to my ex-wife. And I'm like, why would you give full custody and remove them from a more peaceful area in Pennsylvania to New York, which is a higher crime area? I didn't understand the logic in that. But the judge, he wasn't a judge. He's a hearing officer. Every state is different. Didn't hear nothing I had to say about my civil rights being violated. The case was already closed. It was like my attorney wasn't communicating. I don't know what it was. I think my attorney said he did do that, but he just ignored them. So it was like my rights and my word didn't mean nothing. And so this is going to happen this has happened to a lot of guys. Okay, so if you are, like I said, a disciplinary father, okay, I'm trying to tell you, and you had listened to my advice, even Kevin Samuels, okay, he's my prodigy, okay, you know, and I've traveled and I lost my virginity to a virgin wife. So no guy has ever done that. A lot of beta males will probably laugh and say, hey, we can teach you some shit, or they'll troll me. But it's very important to keep your virginity and try to find people who are literally like yourself or, you know, to communicate with you. Be cool, buddy. because I don't like having friends too much. I just rather be a father figure in virtual reality. Okay, I don't really hang with people. I'm not. I'm very mature. I don't have no time for games. I don't like putting myself at risk. Okay, but anyway, I am here to help you guys out. And I'm trying to tell you, if you passport bros are going overseas just to get wet, don't go overseas. It's hard enough as is. Don't be traveling overseas. Oh, the woman look fine and she got a nice booty. Smash and pass. Bullshit. I do not teach that shit on my channels. There's a lot of beta male cuck sucks fucks out there who be fucking women because they're horny. Okay, and they don't know what the time to do with their time. They just want to do that because they don't have nothing else to do. But I don't teach that nonsense like to do that overseas. I try to talk about virginity, polygyny, be like the Amish family if you have to, okay? Be natural with the earth. So I don't want to get off the tangent here, but the courts are very biased against the man. It doesn't matter what color you are. But if you are a colored person and you are a minority actually means to be ignorant of, okay? It's not really the content of your color, okay, right? Because there's a lot of white folks who get thrown under the bus. They're like a minority too, but there are a majority of men whose voice is silenced in the courts, and it's not usually going to be heard. If there are women who's losing their kids, they do lose their kids too, yeah. So if you do not have the money, you are a minority as well, okay, all right? So no money, they kind of take advantage of you. They know you have no way out. They will not. Your attorneys is useless. Do not. You don't have to listen to my word. I know there's many guys who went through it. I had an attorney. He didn't file a motion. Yada yada yada. And then they tell you can do it yourself. But I don't have no time for that shit. Okay. I know ignorance is power. Knowledge is power. But some people can't handle that knowledge. They can't handle it. My processing mind works differently. So when I know how to read very well, okay, but sometimes things get mixed up because of my psychosis, okay, right? And I can't comprehend all that stuff. I do my best to study that stuff. Everybody's body is different, so this is why you need assistance. My genius comes out into someone who know how to interpret it, okay? But my moral, what I'm saying here in this video is you guys better keep it outside the country, because if you want to lose your kids and you want to go through stress, to me it's like a blessing and a curse. When you have kids, you got to think about the future and how your kids is going to obey you, right? If you have daughters, it's definitely harder. I'm saying from my anecdotal experience. We're not talking about your research, okay? I know daughters are harder to raise than boys. And if you tell them something simple, they will simply try you. And this is what the typical woman does, tries you, okay? And the first thing that happens is that when they try you, you have to give them the test of reality. And the thing you can do nothing about it until they realize they made a mistake. Once they make the mistake, that's when you get paid. All right? Get paid over getting laid, guys, because this is the real way of going. Okay? You can't, no money, no honey. The women are always winning because they go by that virtue, okay, that importance that they have compartmentalized in their own brain. And then you have to understand that when women get bored, they can do what they want, especially in the westernized country, and then you will lose your kids, okay? I'm talking about a 90%. I'm like, is people not listening to what I'm saying here? It's obviously written in the documents too, but they don't care about that. They don't care about what kind of documents. If they tell you their doctors, even their doctors said I was stable, it's just, it doesn't matter, okay? It's a waste. You can have a certificate like me. It does not. You're going to fuck around and find out that even if you have documentation that everything is normal, they are going to go against what they think we should go. And then they're going to go behind your back and talk to your kids and coerce them. What I mean by coercion is that it's a long-term thing. The postponements automatically shifts their minds. Kids get adapted to things that they need at the moment, okay? And then sometimes they will say things behind your back. Like me, I bless my daughters with everything they need, but at the same time, they have more family on this side, and then they can coerce them. They can all be coerced. If your kids is out of your jurisdiction, I repeat, they can be coerced, and they will get tired of certain things like traveling, visitations, all that stuff they get tired of. Like why do we have to see daddy once a week? That is a tactic that they use eventually to build up stamina, so the kids will say they just want to see mom because they see the mom more than you. If you're a father, I repeat, they will give more visitation to the mother, most likely so, yes. And this has to stop. So if Trump can fix this problem before he leaves out of office, okay, it's up to him. And so we already know that you have to be a soldier for yourself. You cannot be an incel. Well, if you're an incel, you're an involuntary virgin, but every guy is a virgin and every woman is a virgin unless they're forced to because they don't know what to do, okay? They're ignorant about it. It doesn't matter how you look either. There are guys who are highly attractive. They're not usually going to be called incels because they're highly attractive. So we're not going to be talking about biases here, okay? A highly attractive incel, okay, doesn't exist, right? Okay, but they do exist. And then they don't shoot up schools because they have control. But they'll be called an incel or a narcissist. So be careful with that. People who don't even understand those words, they don't understand what narcissism is. They don't know what understanding incel is. Please don't fit into them categories, okay? It's good to be a unit for yourself and traverse, okay? That's my advice. Keep them there. And if you can't even contact me to get your passport and shit so you can get paid, okay? Instead of getting laid, then you deserve to be in the position that you're in right now. So the moral with this video is that warning, do not bring them back. CPS is under attack. Your civil rights mean nothing as a father, and it doesn't matter what color you are. But if you're black, you're going to have an even more disadvantage, especially if you're educated and you don't know what paperwork to fucking fill out. Tons of fucking paperwork. It's annoying as fuck, okay? To me, it's annoying when everything is right there. It's like they look at it and they'll pick it out and they'll say, let's see if this is true that he's stable. They find out you are stable. It doesn't matter if you're stable. They're looking at background, something that happened over 20 years ago, something that they look at those things. They don't look at what's the now, okay? They don't know what happened previously, but they do when they find out. They do not care, okay? You've been warned. Travel overseas, keep them overseas, get your property overseas, get it in her name, get the house in her name. The properties are not that expensive over there. Make your investments over there, or be square, okay? And you can make profit that way, okay? That's what America's doing. They try to source all sorts of things outside the country. A lot of countries do that. They go to poor countries and then they mark up their products and shit. People do it all the time. So you should do that too. Think like them. Okay? Think like them. Focus on the money. How are you going to remove... See, me, I don't have to work, okay? I already told you this. You got to talk to me. All right? Look at my daughter, you see? I don't have to work. I work for my health, okay? And Leonardo loves me because I'm Leonardo. I have my 3 brothers and sisters, okay? And you guys should be like Leonardo, the leader, right? I am Leonardo. You should listen to him because he likes Ninja Turtles too. And he likes Thundercats and Silverhawks and Autobots and Transformers and G.I. Joe and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I'm your Gen Xer out. And of course, I am your Gen Xer out. I'm your Emerald Pillar King. And now, I bet it's from my sponsor. But anyway, since I lost my daughters in custody, okay, I don't understand why they would do that, okay, because I already had custody. You have to understand, I know why they took it. Now I'm contradicting myself. That's right, because I'm crazy. And you should know that they do not care for your feelings. Okay, they don't care about the dad's feelings, even though he got it all right. I said, cyber school your goddamn kids. Keep them off them goddamn phones. If some strange person comes to the door, do not answer the door. If they white, overweight, okay. Usually it's always some fat, overweight individual. If you see a fat, overweight individual come to your door, out of shape, average looking Joe Smo, do not answer that goddamn door. That is the best advice. Let them stick the letters in the mail so that they can work the hard way. And don't answer it. What they gonna do? They can't come in there without no permission. So you gotta understand how it works. Okay, they can go two ways. You can answer the door and take a chance, like I did. I answered the door and I let them in, and I thought everything was cool, but it wasn't cool because their purpose is they want to get paid. And that's exactly how you should be thinking. Privacy, getting paid, and make sure you are remote. You are not there. You don't even have to answer your ring if you don't have to. Just do not answer. But I learned the hard way by answering the door. Be careful who you let in your house. Be careful. Be careful. They may seem to have a white face and a pretty smile, okay? But they're not your friends. Those CPS have helped me. They helped me a little bit. I learned something, though. CPS can't give you information to get your car fixed. I got $1,500 worth of damages on my car because I couldn't move it. And they got it paid. Yeah, they got it paid. And I was shocked that they did. But at the same time, the consequence is that they can reopen your case. If you let them in your house, they put you on a list. I did not know this. I don't know what this list is called. And then they can come back to your house. Even though you're a private person and no one knows you, they can come back to your house and cause trouble for you later on. Okay, and it's usually those miserable type of CPS workers. They want to get paid. So you better be careful with that. You've been warned. Other than that, that's all I gotta say, guys. You've been given great advice. Don't answer your doors. Okay, I am not a lawyer. It's just advice. And I'm trying to help the guys out. And it's mainly predominantly you white guys, because there's more white folks in America than black folks, right? So other than that, that's all I really want to say to you for you white guys, okay? Because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. And if you want to take the best advice in the world, you basically question yourself. You get the best advice from yourself. Right? You ask questions and you use deductive reasoning like Batman. Unless you're a savant, things will go better, okay? But most people are not savants. They don't have photographic memories, okay? But I gotta get out of here. Soon I'll be traveling to Nigeria, and you can see my videos if you follow me, okay? And if you're a woman watching me and you got this far, keep your goddamn legs closed and listen to your father. Do not listen to the mothers. Do not listen to people who are emotional. Do not go to parties and clubs. Keep your ass in the house and get in those goddamn books. Hey, if I said anything wrong, you better tell me. Tell me. Other than that, I'm out. My next video will be about trying to avoid cognitive. I'd be having conversations with fools, and then I stop the conversation because some people cannot be convinced. You cannot convince them. So I don't know what the title that this next video, okay? But it will be like dangers. Do not continue talking to cognitive dissonance individuals. They're not mature enough to listen to reasoning and logic deduction. They don't have constructive thought. And it's a terrible thing. It's a sickness. And religious people are the ones with this complex. The religious people. Theists, people who are theists, they have a complex. They're all sick. All right? But I'm sick. When I hear the third voice, I'm sick. So we all are sick. So the strong here is the fittest. Okay? So other than that, y'all have a nice day. Because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. I'll make that video later. Peace.